Hey everyone, and welcome back to What Was That with Gabe Sanchez. After a lackluster performance during the midterms, you'd think the Republican Party would change their election strategy, but something tells me for upcoming elections they're just gonna double down on election denialism, voter intimidation, and voter suppression. If there's anything Republicans know how to do, it's deny, deny, deny. Like when they deny being groomers or having a creepy obsession with other people's genders. But that's a topic for another day. In the 2022 midterms, there were 291 election deniers on the ballot in 48 of 50 states. This phenomenon of election denialism is fueled by Trump in his attempt to subvert the 2020 election. And if you remember back in 2020, Trump said he would move on if he lost to Joe Biden.
If I lose to him, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I will never speak to you again. You'll never see me again.
And unsurprisingly, Trump lied and he never moved on. And also, neither did his supporters. I mean, you'd think for a group that calls other people snowflakes, Republicans would know when to stop crying and just take the L. Nowadays, if you're running for office as a Republican, you don't actually need a platform. All you had to do for the midterms is lie about the outcome of the 2020 election and you instantly got Trump's endorsement. And you might have even gotten him to do his weird dance that looks like he's jerking off two ghosts at the same time. Which, according to his MAGA supporters, is the thing they like most about Trump.
One thing that you could say you like best about President Trump, what is it?
His dance.
His dance? Yeah, his dance moves are pretty good.
But back to the election deniers. Let's call them what they really are. Election liars. And one of the worst offenders is former Trump hater and candidate for Arizona Governor Kari Lake. Also, is it just me, or does Kari Lake look like she's always filming a daytime soap opera? Lake is so far down the rabbit hole with Trump that she has refused to commit to accepting the results of her own election.
Will you accept the results of your election in November?
I'm going to win the election and I will accept that result.
If you lose, will you accept that?
I'm going to win the election and I will accept that result.
During the campaign, she told people without any proof that President Joe Biden did not win the 2020 election with 81 million votes.
The truth is that Joe Biden did not win with 81 million votes. And if you believe he did, then you are the conspiracy theorist.
Recently, she's been complaining about how the ballots are counted in Arizona.
I have very little faith in some of the people that are operating that Maricopa County elections. I think they're incompetent. I'm going to be real honest. I'm always going to be honest. I think they're incompetent.
And here's what Bill Gates, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors chairman, had to say. Oh, and by the way, he's a Republican.
And I understand that Kari Lake wants us to move quickly, and a lot of people do. But you know what's more important is that this is done accurately. That is the focus. And that, like for all of these mail-in ballots, that those are signature verified. This is very important to me as an elected official, that only eligible votes are counted. I would think that Kari Lake would be interested in that as well.
Another election election liar is January 6th insurrectionist and candidate for Arizona Secretary of State, Mark Fincham. Here he is on 60 Minutes before the midterms trying to peddle more election lies that have already been debunked.
Now, we've now proven that it happened, Scott.
How so?
We've got two precincts that show over 100% of the people registered to vote in that precinct voted. That is an undeniable fact.
But it is deniable by Pima County, which says no precinct had more votes than voters.
Keep in mind, these were just two candidates of nearly 300 election liars in the 2022 midterms. There will definitely be more running in 2024. Arizona, and specifically places like Maricopa County, have become a cesspool of election liars and conspiracies. It's been the focus of Rudy Giuliani's election theories, Mike Lindell's cyber symposium, the now defunct cyber ninjas, poll worker death threats, and MAGA praying outside the voting center.
This is the most beautiful document that was ever read. We need to protect this land. We need to protect our children. We need to protect the democracy and a fair and honest election.
We truly live in the dumbest timeline. And now, 2 years later, Maricopa County was back in the news because of gun-toting morons intimidating voters at ballot drop boxes. Whoa, sorry about that. Came in too close on that guy's little dick energy. Gun, body cam, bulletproof vest, face mask. It's like a Patriot starter kit. So how did this whole thing start exactly? Well, Melody Jennings, the leader of the right-wing group Clean Elections USA, posted this on Truth Social. And then, of course, Trump pushed it out to more of his cult. And as a result, MAGA coordinated ballot mule watch parties to intimidate voters. Now, you may remember ballot mules from the widely debunked propaganda film 2000 Mules that was made by felon and part-time MyPillow salesman Dinesh D'Souza. It basically accuses these mules of somehow changing the outcome of the 2020 election, even though repeated hand counts of ballots recertified the results. Even Attorney General Bill Barr laughed at D'Souza's film while he was under oath during the January 6th committee.
I haven't seen anything since the election that changes my mind on that, including the 2000 Mules movie.
But thankfully, a judge blocked members of the group Clean Actions USA from openly carrying guns or wearing body armor within 250 feet of drop boxes, speaking to or yelling at voters dropping off their ballots, and banned from photographing or filming voters. I'm sorry, but the fact that we even needed a judge to issue an order on this is insane. Anyone standing near a drop box wearing tactical gear, a body cam, a face mask, and a gun is 100% voter intimidation. For the love of God!
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
And believe me when I say this, they're gonna try this again in the 2024 election. And it's not just voter intimidation that Republicans rely on, but also voter suppression. Just this year alone, 42 state legislators have considered at least 130 bills collectively that would make law enforcement more involved in the voting process. And 28 have passed. And in some cases, vigilantism has been legalized and encouraged by state governments. But at its core, voting restrictions disproportionately affect Black and Latino communities, which is who Republicans hate and don't want voting. In Pennsylvania, the state Supreme Court ordered officials to save but not count mail-in ballots with the wrong date marked on the envelope. So I guess the postmark stamped on an envelope by a government agency like the United States Postal Service isn't good enough anymore. And Republicans will reuse this suppression tactic in other states in 2024. Because if our votes don't count, they win. And while campaigning for other candidates during the midterms, Obama summarized the Republican Party perfectly.
And that's why they're doing everything they can to prevent you from voting. This is one of the only major parties in worldwide that actively tries to discourage citizens from voting.
And to avoid accepting defeat, Republicans tried to stir up confusion before election night by creating a red mirage. Here's Trump's lawyer, Christina Bobb, casting doubt on the results before the election.
It's a no-brainer. There should absolutely be a result no later than like the middle of the night, early Wednesday morning.
You would think so, right?
You would think so, and I think those areas that don't have a result, it's going to look very suspicious.
Wait, what was that?
I think those areas that don't have a result, it's going to look very suspicious.
What Christina Bobb deliberately left out was the fact that due to laws enacted by Republican-controlled legislators, many states aren't even allowed to start counting mail-in votes until after polls close. Spoiler alert, people who think they can win a free and fair election do not work this hard to suppress your vote and undermine trust in its results. That would be fascism. So now, as we look to future elections like 2024, we need a way to strengthen public confidence in our democracy. And in order to protect our democracy, we need to vote these liars out in 2024 and beyond. We need to deny these liars election wins. So I'll leave you with this. Republicans are like a parasite in an ant colony. If left untreated, they will infect everything and destroy democracy as we know it. Well, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?